So when I say my grandmother's so fly,
how fly is she?
indeed, but you gotta say it from your soul. So my grandmother's so fly.
How fly is she?
My grandmother's so fly.
How fly is she?
When she was born, instead of smacking her butt, the doctor smacked himself for even thinking about disrespecting her. My grandmother's so fly.
How fly is she?
She missed her stop on the train. The train went in reverse so she wouldn't be late for work. My grandmother's so fly.
How fly is she?
I wrote this poem in helium ink. On the off chance that it might reach her ears one day, I once caught a solar eclipse asking her for fashion advice. My grandmother, so fly.
How fly is she?
Gravity said be home before the streetlights came on. She danced with the clouds an additional 3 hours and still hasn't been grounded. My grandmother has the kind of voice that can call names and make bodies appear out of thin air. Sugamama sips coffee like molten rock, is never one to blow smoke without warning. She'll erupt into either lava laughter or the voice of a volcano without blinking. From her corner office couch, she'll convince you to pour out your heart just so she can fill you with a new one even after knee surgery. She balances 3 generations of a family in her lap. I call her Sugamama. Not to say that she is always sweet. I've seen her punch grown men in the chest and reduce them to a pile of disrespectful dust in the kitchen floor, a mistake they never make more than once. She's the type of woman to tell the same story 17 times. And you listen every time, but not out of respect or pity, but because she's so good. She makes the words sound like strangers to your ears. A few months ago, I caught her drinking Hennessy straight. No chaser. This tells me who my grandmother was in her prime. She tells me to take a shot and worry about the gun residue later. She walks like every step is her foot's first time meeting the ground. They shake hands like they know the relationship won't last long. I say she is fly so as to communicate that I look up to her. My biggest fear is that she's been fly all my life, that even the greatest planes have to land eventually. I'm afraid she'll get a taste for the dirt before I'm close enough to snatch a piece of the sun for her. Did y'all know the sun is the biggest star in the universe? It is believed to be what keeps the planets in rotation. How ironic is it that the flyest thing in the sky's bloodline is the same star that keeps the planet's relatives from drifting off into space, standing at 5'8"? My grandmother is not that far removed from a dwarf star. There are days when all she has to offer us is her lunar laughter, and we take it gladly back to our places in the solar system with us. More times than not, our conversations end in us talking about what I should do with my life. She says, shoot for the stars. The way a friend suggests a vacation spot that they visit often, she tells me to shoot for the stars. The way that same friend tells you to apply to a job they know will be missing an employee soon. I say that I want her to stick around long enough to see me shine. She says, shoot for the stars. And I can hear the 2 weeks notice in her voice. I say that I think my children's children won't respect me. She says, buy a gun, then shoot for the stars. Follow the trail of the bullet into the sky. Find it lies in the spine of a planet. Write your name on the fragment. Then tell your grandchildren to fetch it for you when they're old enough to leave the Earth's atmosphere. I say that I want her to stick around long enough to see me succeed. She says she is already gone. Tells me to shoot for the stars anyway. So even if I miss, at least I'll still be close enough to carpool the rest of the way on the back of a comet. I think she wants me to shoot for the sky so that even if she dies before I make it there, at least she'll still be falling somewhere between the fingertips of a cloud, within arm's reach of the sun, sharing a laugh with the moon, waiting with open wings. My grandmother, so fly.
How fly is she?